Let's see what's happening. Here we go. This hangout on air is live. Okay, I think we're on. I'm a little early maybe, but I'm on. Okay, how's everybody going? It's Bruce here, traveling with Bruce. How you doing today? Friday, January the 19th. Oh, Friday. Thank God it's Friday. We're here. We made it. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to my channel, Traveling with Bruce. Bruce here in Creston, BC, where today we had glorious sunshine. Absolutely wonderful sunshine today. Hit a high of 40 degrees. I'm sitting in my living room here working away on my YouTube channel, doing my stuff. The sun is shining on me. I'm hot. I'm hot because of the angle of the sun. It's getting higher. It's fantastic. But got cloudy about half an hour ago. We're socked in. We're in the mountains here, folks. I'm in the Rockies, and I'll tell you, from 1 hour to the next, you have no idea what's going to happen. So socked in, and what can I say? But it's still plus 38, 39 degrees. If you're just joining me and you're seeing this video okay, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're good. Send me a little text message. Tell me where you're at. Where are you located? Where are you watching me from? Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. I know I have a cast of regulars who have been following me lately, and I love it. And if there are any of those of you who are new or joining in, by all means, join in. I love it. Looks like Gailey is here. Hi, Bruce. Cold here again. Hailstones. Oh, no. Gailey, I know you're in the UK, but I can't remember where in the UK do you live. Are you near London or Bath or Edinburgh or Liverpool or Glasgow? Where are you in the UK? And I'm just thinking it's 3 o'clock my local time, 5 o'clock New York time, Eastern time. What time is it where you are? Is it about 10 or 11 at night? I'm kind of curious. I know there's so many hours, 5, 6 hours difference between New York and London or the UK. Anyway, that'll be great to get. Anyway, I see got a few viewers here. Thanks for joining this channel. This channel, Traveling with Bruce, is hosted by yours truly. I am the producer, director, star of the show, and janitor. I do it all. The channel is about 5.5 months old. I love talking about traveling around the world. I've got about 115 or 120 videos up now. I've been a busy guy, and I got some playlists out there that you can catch at your convenience. Teresa's here. Happy Friday, Teresa, from Waterloo, Ontario, I believe. Gailey, Southport near Liverpool. Fantastic. Near Liverpool. That's awesome. The Beatles. Oh, I'm a huge Beatles fan. This channel, just get back to what I'm about. This channel has playlists on travels that I've made to Europe, Germany, to Berlin, to Italy. I got a playlist on traveling the US, a number of playlists on cruising, quite a number of playlists on cruising, actually. I talk about how you can I have some videos where I've been personally on cruise ships, of course, and my own cruises. And then I've got how-to videos, how to find a good deal on a cruise, for a cruise, how to get, what's a repositioning cruise, what to pack, what should you bring on a ship, this kind of stuff. And then these live sessions, these live streams I just started about 2 weeks ago are proving quite popular. This is where you can ask me anything about cruising, and I'll tell you about what's going on, the latest news, events, updates, whatever's happening out there. Thomas Arnold is saying to me, 45 here in Big Bear, Bruce, but they are calling for snow tonight. Oh, right on, in Big Bear, California, just outside of, a ways out of Los Angeles, but Palm Springs, Palm Desert area, ski area up there. They need snow bad. They're getting it. Fantastic. Thomas, cross our fingers. Let's hope it falls and doesn't melt right away. You kind of need it for a while, okay? Man, what a time you guys have had up there. Just great having you guys here. Fantastic. I love it. I've got a number of things to talk about today, but I also want to mention the topic of the week. For those of you who know me, you've heard this before, but I'll give you some updates. For those of you who were just joining me, here on this channel, if you're regular YouTube followers, you may have a bunch of favorites of yours that are out there. Hopefully you'll make mine one of them. Please subscribe. This week, YouTube lowered the boom on small YouTubers. They are, Elizabeth is here. Hi, Elizabeth, 63 in Daytona Beach, Florida. I think you got the. I think you're winning right now, Elizabeth. I think you, unless someone else calls me from Key West or somewhere else, you might have the warm temperature here. Way to go. Just so you know, it's about 38, 40 here and cloudy. This week, YouTube lowered the boom. Now, YouTube has had issues lately, and being a YouTuber, of course, I follow everything about YouTube. Obviously, they've had issues lately with advertisers not happy with some of the content on some of the YouTube channels, and advertisers, they're very finicky about who they like to target ads to for obvious reasons. And people who support certain retailers or products or services, they're kind of particular about not having those entities associated with people doing bad things or saying nasty things or having a nasty position or whatever it might be. And so YouTube is in kind of a quandary. They're trying to figure out a way to keep offensive material away from the advertising area, and yet still be an open platform for people to do whatever they want to do within reason, obviously, and good taste, or reasonable taste, I guess. Anyway, most large YouTube channels out there, I mean big ones, they're popular for a reason. They've caught something with the viewer, many viewers. Maybe it's a celebrity, maybe it's a person, hopefully like me someday. They follow the exploits of someone on YouTube. But also, there are some YouTube channels that are really entertaining and they're really fun to watch, and they're very informative and they're engaging, and viewers just kind of warm up to these celebrities, and as time goes on, they get hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of subscribers, and millions, tens of millions, billions of views. Taylor Swift is a classic example. She puts out a video this afternoon. Within a month, it's been watched over 1 billion times. I could only wish I had that many. I don't think there's that many people interested in Bruce talking about cruise ships. I don't think so. Anyway, we all have our niche. So YouTube is trying to filter out trouble, and one way to do it is to make it with respect to certain YouTubers who are just trying to get a channel up and running, get a bunch of views going, steal material from wherever they can steal it from, hijack stuff they shouldn't be using, and put it on their channel and try to get views and subscribers and get advertising revenue in, because they think they're part of this pot of advertising money that's coming in all the time. YouTube has gotten more and more selective and pinpoint accurate to weed out these actors and delete them from the channel, ban them from the channel, give them copyright strikes and get rid of them and all that sort of stuff. And one of the other ways to do it is to, on the monetization front, before a YouTuber can earn any income from the advertisers, you have to become monetizable, and you'll have to reach certain levels. And up until 3 days ago, you needed at least 10,000 views on your channel to become eligible to qualify, to actually apply to become monetized. And it took me 3 months from August until October to hit 10,000 views. And I applied, and within a week, I got the email, "You're in. We welcome," because they checked out my channel, they checked out what I've done, they've seen the thumbs up that I get from my subscribers, they see how and my viewers, and they've also seen my interaction with my viewers. My material, of course, is PG and fantastic. I also pride myself on trying to have as close as possible a 50-50 ratio between men and women who watch my channel. When it first started, the first 3 weeks, it was 90% men. And I thought, oh, where are the girls? But as I worked on my quality and my presentation and my subject matter, I began to grow the audience, and my female count started to come up. Male too, but the female count was catching. And now it's about, I think it's about 65-35, if not 62-38. And in some age groups, I have more women than men, which is fantastic. What's Elizabeth there? Crash X is here. Hey, Crash X, Ottawa, Ontario. Welcome. So anyway, YouTube now has changed the rules as of 3 days ago. They've made it tougher to get in. 10,000 views isn't enough anymore. They've even thrown that thing right out there. They don't care how many views you have. It's not the views anymore. It's about view time. How many minutes, how many hours are people spending on your channel? Because if there are people spending a lot of hours on your channel, then you're a real deal and you've got something people want to watch. And the requirement is 4,000 hours of watch time in the previous 12 months before you can apply. Now, in my case, I have 180,000 minutes, which I need 240,000 minutes, by the way. That's 4,000 hours, 60 times 4,000. I have 180,000 minutes as of last night. I think yesterday I did 6,000 minutes yesterday. So I have no trouble reaching the last 60,000 minutes I need in the next month, because I have until Feb 20 to get to this new level. And I'll have that in about 8 to 10 days, no problem. But it's subscribers. They've now come up with a minimum requirement for subscribers. You have to have 1,000 subscribers on your channel to qualify to get into monetization or to remain monetized. So in my case, I have one leg that'll be over the fence and one leg that's still out, and you have to have both legs in or you're gone. And you'll then have to wait until you reach that new level of 1,000 subscribers and the minutes. Then you can reapply for monetization and get back in. I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of channels kicked out who just won't have it. And some of us are really close. Hopefully I'll make it. And then there'll be a bit of a backlog, because I have a feeling that to get remonetized, or to get monetized at all, I think it's going to take a month. It's going to take a long time, because they've changed the criteria as well, and quality content and stuff. They just have to go through it manually, and it's a lot of work. And we're talking about millions of accounts, millions of channels. And so I'm one of them. So I'm trying to avoid that issue by appealing to my viewers out there. That's you, my existing subscribers, my followers, my friends, relatives, family, everybody I know, putting the word out starting 2 days ago. Please help. If you know anyone that likes watching this channel and hasn't subscribed, because they're just lazy, they go to see me anytime you want, tell them to subscribe, because Bruce has to get to 1,000 subscribers by Feb 20. That's what he really wants to have happen. I want to actually be past that. I figured on my growth path that I was going to get to 500 or 600 subscribers by the end of February anyway, the way the channel was growing, because as of a week ago, I started to get 8 to 10 subscribers a day just naturally. That was just the curve. In December, I was getting 3 to 4 a day. And now lately it's been 8 to 10. Well, the last 2 days, you guys have come out and really have helped me a lot. When I made this first appeal two and a half days ago, I was sitting at about 270 subscribers, something like that. And last night, 316 when I was on the doing this last live tweet or live stream. Just getting my notes here. Forgive me. So it's 316 yesterday. As of a half an hour ago, 335. another 19 since yesterday. And so we're up 70 subscribers from where I put this first notice out, this first appeal, to let you guys know what's really on my mind right now. I've got to get this going. I have till Feb 20, so I got about 28 days to go. And it looks like I'm going to need about 23 subscribers a day on average to get to the 1,000 level. And it gets easier to grow your channel the larger you get. So I know that when I reach 450 or 500, to add 10 or 15 a day is much easier than if you're at 120 try to add 15. And so here we are at 335. I figure now naturally I would be getting 10 or 11 maybe a day. I've got to have double that. I've got to keep going. So I'm just going to keep pushing and doing what I can to promote the channel. I have subscribers out there and viewers out there who really come to bat for me. They have been promoting me on their Facebook pages. They've been promoting me on Instagram to their followers. To family and friends. They know people. I know people who know people who watch me all the time. They tell me they love my channel, and then they get asked, "Well, are you a subscriber?" And they go, "Well, no." So they're has been 30,000 mark on my watch time. I'll let you guys know. It should be sometime next week, and then of course, the subscriber count. You can see it for yourselves every day, all the time you're watching my channel. You see how many subscribers I have and where they're coming from. To become a subscriber, there's a subscriber button always on the screen somewhere. But on the screen here, there's a little box that says subscribe. Behind it is a little bell. It looks like a little image of a bell. If you click on that, are going to be notified automatically every time I make a new video or every time I'm going to announce a live stream. So if you want to get those notifications, I think they call them bell notification icons. So you'll be up to think. Feed Snap. I hope I'm still on. Let me take a look and see if I'm still on. Crash, you're back. Thank you. You're back on. Must have been a funny glitch in the system. I can see everything here working, so we're looks good. Story on the subscriber count, and thank you all you guys who got me this first 75 or whatever number. What a hit that was. 2 weeks ago we were barely at, and now 335, 350 for Sunday, 400 or sometime next week. I'm thinking early next week. I think we're going to break 400. 450 a week from now, maybe 500 a week from now. Man, that would be something. And then we're on the last half of this this quest. I think last night thinking, should I do a marathon? Like with a week to go, should I do like an all-day marathon where I get on the air until I get the 1,000 subscriber? 50, I won't get off the air until I get. I don't think that's a good idea. But I don't think that's a good idea. And keeping the way to go. Updates and news for you guys on the cruise business, because that's what we're all here for. I wanted to mention something I talked about yesterday. Yesterday on my stream, shareholder benefit program. If those of you who are new today, the program is simply this: if you are booking a cruise on Carnival lines, which includes Holland America, Princess, Royal Caribbean, which also includes Celebrity, Norwegian, American Lines. These three mother corporations, the Holland, Royal Caribbean, and those three corporations are publicly traded companies. Their shares trade on the stock market. Of those companies, and you own at least 100 shares of any one of them or all three of them, every time you book a cruise, you can get a cabin for that, no matter what other promo deals you got. Okay, it's not like either or, it's an additional benefit. Now, for a 1 week cruise on all three lines, it's exactly the same. You get a $100 cabin credit. Doesn't matter if you go on 2 cruises a year, 4 cruises a year. Every time you go on a cruise on the cruise line, you're a shareholder, you're a part owner, you get $100 cabin credit. Pretty well anything you want. And obviously, it could go towards your tips. You can use it for specialty dining. You can use it to buy some photographs if you want, or what have you. If you're going on a 14-day cruise or longer, or a 15-day cruise or longer on Carnival, then it's up to a $250 credit. And so this is a nice little reward for being a shareholder of the company. I think in Carnival's case, the shares are $60-something. So it's a $6,000 investment you can put into an IRA or into your brokerage account, or however wherever you hold your investments. If you're planning a 15-day cruise, something nice like a reposition cruise or what have you, credit thrown at you. And if the next cruise is a 1 week Caribbean cruise, there's a $100 credit waiting for you. So this is a pretty good deal. It's been around for years, by the way. This hasn't just started. Norwegian went public about 5 years ago, maybe, and they immediately instituted that deal for their shareholders as well. Now, MSC is a private company. They don't have that deal. And Disney does not do it. I don't believe on that one. I don't think Disney has a shareholder benefit deal on their cruise line. As a matter of fact, I don't think they have a shareholder benefit deal for Disney World or Disneyland. I'll look into that. That just triggered my mind. Anyway, I got a question from a viewer last night after I did the live stream, and I had mentioned the shareholder benefit program, and the question was a good one, and I thought I'd mention it to everybody today. The question was, if I've already booked a cruise and I'm not a shareholder of the company, can I still get the deal? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. The trick of it is, though, that the benefit is applicable, but you have to apply for the benefit 15 days before your cruise. So if the cruise is next week, you're too late. You can't buy the stock today and get the benefit. But let's say you've got a cruise in 2 months from now, a month from now, 3 months from now. If you buy the shares in the next week or so, it'll take 3 business days after you acquire them for them to be registered in your name or your brokerage account's name. Then you have the necessary evidence tied to the cruise line that you're a shareholder of the company. And even though you booked the cruise 6 months ago, and that's coming up in 2 months, the fact that you're a shareholder, just become a shareholder, you get the shareholder benefit because it's shareholders at the time of sailing, not at the time of booking the cruise. This is great. If you've got any of you out there have got a cruise book coming up in the next 6 months, a year and a half from now, keep in mind you can get yourself room credit just by being a shareholder of the company that owns the cruise ship. If it's, again, part of the Carnival family or Norwegian cruise ship family. All right. So I thought I'd mention that today for you guys and get you on that. Elizabeth is saying for some reason it's blurry this time. My connection looks good here. Everything here seems to be fine. I'm going to just take a look at the page. At a video of myself on a page that I've got up, and it's definitely fuzzy. It might actually help my look, because I'm kind of a Kidman, I'm not that pretty, but it would be nice if it would clear up. I hope it does. But at this point, that's what we're seeing. And it's certainly not my camera, because looking through my camera here on the feed that I have, it's absolutely crystal clear mission of the signal, either from here or through the YouTube, through the network. I'm not sure if it'll do any good if you log out and log in. If it'll make any difference for your quality or not. But anyway, I'm going to be here for a little while yet. So if you do log out, log in, give it a try. A couple of things I wanted to bring up today. I was going to ask you guys today for my viewers, those of you who are out there. I was curious whether or not any of you wanted to share with me a couple of answers to some of these questions. Something like the best port you've ever visited when you're on a cruise, the one that you think about fondly, you think back on it fondly. Maybe it was a port that surprised you, that you thought would be like this, and it turned out to be like that, and it was way better than you thought. You went on a cruise, and you were looking forward to visiting a certain place, a certain destination, and it was a complete disaster. Which one surprised you the most, and which one disappointed you the most? I'd be curious about learning about that and why. That would be that. I think there'd be some interesting stories out there for that. Another question I had for you was the favorite cruise line of yours, and why, and or your favorite cruise ship and why. We all have our favorites and our likes and dislikes, and I thought I'd mention that. Elizabeth is just saying we love Grand Cayman. I can see why. It's a pretty popular spot. When you were at Grand Cayman, have any of you ever been out there? What did you do when you got there? What excursion did you do? Did you take an excursion with the ship, or did you go on your own? And this leads me to another question I'll throw at you guys. What was the best shore excursion you've ever been on that the ship organized? What was one of the winners? And then conversely, what was one of the worst shore excursion you've ever been on, and what caused that to happen? That would be an interesting one to know. But yeah, if you make it to Grand Cayman, you have to, the ships park about half a mile off the shore, and then you tender on to the pier. And so it takes a little while to get on the land, basically. But once on land, you have options, quite a few options in front of you. Obviously, if you've got a tour arranged, you're on a tour bus and you're on with a group, off you go. If you're on a ship tour, a ship shore excursion, cruise ship shore excursion, if you're on one of those, likely you were all gathered up in the dining room or in one of the showrooms by the staff. And then as a group, you were all taken down to the departure level of the ship, and then you all got on the tender, and the same tender, the boat off the tender on the pier. You all walked following someone with the cruise line right to your bus that was waiting for you to take you on your way. So you weren't arriving in like a haphazard manner. You were arriving as a group, and off you went. Easier. Elizabeth is saying a stingray excursion and the turtle farm. We did it on our own, but it was wonderful, and we had a boat all to ourselves. And boy, was that the smart thing to do, Elizabeth. The Stingray City tour is what you're referring to. Is catching up with the stingrays tour is run through the ship. You can go on an excursion, and of course, keep in mind that in the Caymans, it's not uncommon for 3, 4, 5, up to 7 cruise ships a day to visit Cayman Islands for like a 6-hour stop. They are all offering short excursions to Stingray City. All of them. They're all offering the same thing to the turtle farm. They're offering excursions at other points in the island. The Stingray thing, the problem with that is if you're on a bus with 50 people, all 50 of you are heading up to the same boat, and it might be like a large catamaran type unit that's a commercially designed catamaran. And then all 50 of you or 75 of you, there may already be 25 people on it from another cruise ship for all we know, and you're all piled on and you're all headed to Stingray City. Now, the water there is 3-4 feet deep. Hop off the ship and stand in the water up to, your navel or your chest, and the waves might be 2 or 3 feet perhaps, or maybe you have to jump when the waves come in, and then you're back on solid footing again. But if it's a calm day, and the stingray, swim around you, and they're quite used to the fact that there are humans there, because they know they're going to get fed by some of the handlers that are handling your cruise for you, and that's why they're available. But if you can do the Stingray City tour in Cayman on your own, where you can charter, a private vessel, there are vessels there, boats that they can only take between 6 and 20 people. That's the most that they can handle. So the cruise ships won't use them for a booking because they're too small. But online on the internet, you can pre-book, like with Captain Marvin's, for example. You can go on the internet and look up all the charter operators who'll take you to Stingray City, and you'll find the ones that advertise the fact that they have small boats for smaller private parties. And so you can pre-book your Stingray City visit, even and have the reservation made. And that when you get off the cruise ship, get on the land, you'll just grab one of the taxi cabs at the cab stand right at the pier, and head up to the charter location to get the Stingray. And you're doing it on your own. And they'll have refreshments provided for you, as you might have some snacks provided as part of the package that you're booking. Nowadays, the smaller operators have really gotten smart. They now have on board a videographer, and so people are taking you on. Maybe you're having a Stingray City tour for an hour or so, and then they're taking you to a coral reef further out, and you're wearing snorkel gear. Photographer who's going to video you guys the whole time, and you can buy a copy of the videotape or DVD. Obviously, now it's on a disc, uploaded right to your own account. And it's just a flat charge. Might be $30, $40, $50, whatever the amount is. And then you can copy it yourself when you get home to all your friends and relatives. My wife and daughter, whenever we had visitors, I used to live in the Caymans, that's why I know this so much. When we had visitors come to visit us, and we had a lot of visitors come to the Caymans to visit us, we would take them out to Stingray City and then to the coral reefs and go snorkeling. And there was a videographer on board, and a copy of it, because this was a souvenir they would take home with them. I mean, it was just a fantastic souvenir. You didn't have to worry about the film or the camera, the equipment. They had on, of course, a full-blown scuba gear, so they could stay under the water while you were coming down and going back up, and then coming down and going. And they were just watching, waiting for you. And then each person in the party would be 5, 10, 12 minutes, whatever the amount of time it was. And at the end of it, you had a 1-hour tape, and they have music in the background that automatically added to it. It was well done little piece of work. And it was a nice souvenir piece to take back with you. So today, I don't know if they do that for the big cruise, 50, 75 people. minutes are you going to get on camera? 30 seconds? And are you going to buy a tape for $50 because you might be on a 30-second clip? I don't think so. These larger ones. FMOs just went on a Holland America Caribbean cruise on the Westerdam. Ian, how was it? Tell us, where are you from? Where are you texting us from? Welcome aboard. Amsterdam, beautiful ship, of course. Holland America, great line. I hope you had a good cruise. Was it 5-star? Did you really enjoy it? How was the food and everything else? Action to that question. Yeah, these onshore excursions, they can be fabulous. And you don't have to use the ship every time. You can certainly do it on your own. Wing it. I mean, you can literally just wing it, come off a ship and decide, we're just going to hang out for an hour or two on shore. And we might end up in a bistro and grab a nice latte, and then we'll tourist shops here and see what they've got on this island, that island. The one thing, though, you might notice if you've been a cruiser for a while, you'll get off the ship and you'll get to, say, or Saint Martin or in Cayman or in Ojo Rios or other, and you'll notice the same retailers. Have you noticed, like, Diamonds International is everywhere, including they have a store on some of the ships themselves. And these guys are dominant in this business, and they pay dearly in rent to be where they are, to landlords and with cruise ships to be on these cruise ships. Deals or not, but they're a pretty big outfit. I have had people say to me that the commission staff sometimes is a bit pushy, or would hope try to move you up and upsell you. So I'm not sure. Have never bought a diamond from Diamonds International, so I can't say. Ian is saying he's in Sarasota, Florida. And we have a viewer right now who is on here who's telling me I think it was Daytona Beach, that it was 60-something degrees. I'm curious, 63 degrees, Elizabeth says. Elizabeth says it's 63 in Daytona Beach. Can you beat that? What's your high temperature today in Sarasota? Is it any better there? Angela is saying regarding her favorite stop, my favorite was Grand Turk and Antigua. Really nice. Least favorite was Amber Cove because it takes forever and a lot of money to get someplace. Very interesting. That can be a pain, especially if it's a long ride. Oh man, if you're not feeling 100%, or the bus is a bit bouncy and you're moving around, I mean, you don't need that. So yeah, that can make it not fun. Ian is saying regarding the Westerdam, great selection for the breakfast and lunch, and 5-star. Right on. You must have been eating at the and you're absolutely right. The way you've described it, formal and 5-star, you nailed it, because that's what Holland America is known for. They're known for, and you don't necessarily have to go to specialty restaurants. You really don't. Just go to the main dining room and great food. If you have the same table every night, if you arrange it that way, not that you have to. I mean, you can pretty well show up anytime you want, but it helps if you have, say, a specific time, and then you'll have a specific table. You'll have the same waiter, whole cruise. But hey, whichever works for you. Crash 3X is saying the best is St. Lucia, Causal Tours, $65 a person, full day. It was awesome. Sounds like a good deal. $65 for a whole day. Ian was saying here it's 66 in Sarasota. Ian, you got it by 1 degree if you're not lying. We got up to 40 today here in Creston, here in BC. The sun just came out again. I don't know if you can see the shine on this side of my face, how dark it is here. Mind you, my picture, they say, has been a bit fuzzy. It's the sun just popped out again, and I don't know how long it'll last, but we'll see. Anyway, way to go, Ian, on the temperature. I can tell you right now, I'm not catching it. There's no way. 38, 40 degrees, we're done for. It's 3:32 local time. We're dark in an hour and 15 minutes. We're done. Half an hour of sunshine from the dead of winter. Right around Christmas, the sun sets here just short of 4 o'clock. It's depressing as hell. But we're now back into the 4:30 range or a little beyond. So we'll take that anyway. But in the summertime, we get it the other way. In summertime, it doesn't sunset until 10 o'clock at night. So we get the long, long days. And that's known for. Elizabeth is saying on the Liberty in July. Second time on this ship. Then we're booked on the Breeze in March 2019. Second time on that ship. Both are Carnival, I believe. An hour to Port Canaveral. Perfect. I mean, you're in Daytona. I were living in Daytona. Anyone who's living in Daytona would be crazy not to be taking advantage of the fact that it's just over here and Port Canaveral is just over there, and another 30 miles past Fort Lauderdale, of course, is Miami. World-class shipping ports. Well, two now, and Port Canaveral expanding like crazy. Ports that cruise ships come in and out of. I mean, man, can you get your hands on deals in the last month or two? Oh, unbelievable. I met a guy, cruise, a couple of years ago out of Los Angeles, who was a Los Angeles resident who told me that he had booked that I had booked 6 months earlier. He got he got a deal, an offer on his email account, the cruise, 48 hours, and a deal of all deals to come on board. And I think he was taking a 1 week cruise in a balcony for the week. It was one of these, we got 20 left. First come, first serve. You got 48 hours to take the deal, otherwise no deal. And he looked at his wife. His wife looked at him. He was already on the computer because he knew that look. He knew the look. Get your ass to that website and take that deal. And he took that deal. And they'd been on the cruise a couple of times before, and they wait for these last-minute notifications because he's a resident of Los Angeles. He's right there. The cruise line knows that where this guy lives, and so they targeted him, and they target all kinds of other local residents. Advantage of this deal. We have some rooms available. Nice going. Let's see here. We got Crash X Carousel. It was an island tour, shopping, snorkeling at the base of the twin. Is it pitons? Is that how I'm saying that? And lots of drinks flowing. You know, if you're on an excursion, great excursion, but the drinks are flowing, turns out to be a pretty good excursion all of a sudden, doesn't it? It can work out well. But if it was good already and then the drinks are flowing anyway, well, you got it made. You can't beat that deal. I mean, way to go. Some of these excursions can be great. Some can be just a nightmare. I had a fantastic day in Rome. We were on a Mediterranean cruise, and we took a bus tour from the ship at the port, which is about 80 kilometers away, right into downtown Rome. It was just look out the window and see what was going on, and I loved it because I had no worries. I don't care. Are we going to make the ship on time? I didn't have to care. We were going to make the ship on time. There's the Coliseum. I don't have to worry about that. It's going to be right where the bus parks is where the Coliseum's going to be. And then we had lunch at a restaurant, and then we went to the Vatican, and again, we were driven there, and underground parking for that, and followed the tour guide right into the square. Got to St. Peter's Basilica to get a magnificent structure. Didn't have to worry about admission. Didn't have to worry about getting in a line. All we had to do is follow our tour guide. And the tour guide took us right to the front area. The tour guide talked to the operator there. The gate opened up, and they just waved us in. We all had our cruise line buttons on our stickers, I guess, on our shirts. And we all had our headsets with us and just followed them right in and right through the Basilica. And then we walked around for about 30 minutes with a tour. He was telling us what was what was, and then they just left us alone. So you're on your own now. You got an hour and a half to enjoy this building, and then you can go back outside into St. Mark's Square. At the meet at a certain meeting point, which was easy to find. I loved it. I just loved it. I got as much or as little as I wanted of all of that cruise. Even though it was an 8-9 hour ordeal, we weren't like closeted and we were forced to listen to this tour guide. No. It was just easy going. And, an hour here with the tour guide, which is incredibly interesting because you're seeing all kinds of stuff. You're walking and listening and walking and listening. And then they let you go. Same thing with the Coliseum. It was like 30 minutes with the tour guide. Explore the Coliseum all you want. If you have questions, You can catch up with me if you want, but talk to me on the bus or talk to me at lunch, and I'll answer any questions you have about the Coliseum. I love that. It's fantastic. My daughter too. And just looking at any more notes here. Teresa McFarland, Mediterranean cruises and excursions are the best. They're great. Caribbean excursions, I'm sure, are fantastic too. Gailey says, so far, really enjoyed the buffet on the Norwegian Jade and thought it was better than dining room menus, which had poor choices. And, I'm thinking about that. I was on the Jade for the 11-day Mediterranean cruise. My daughter and I only did specialty restaurants a couple of times. We did the Italian restaurant. And I think there was a Japanese or Chinese type restaurant on board. We did that once. So maybe 3 nights. It was either a couple of nights in the buffet, 2 or 3, and it was 2 or 3 in the dining room. But the buffet, very enjoyable. And of course, for us, my preference was first thing in the morning for breakfast because, didn't matter what time you got there. The coffee machine was always on with coffee. I enjoy muesliks on a cruise ship. I never eat muesliks at home. Why is that? Because someone else makes it? I get on a cruise ship and I love muesliks and I put some fruit on there and have my coffee and it's fantastic. Now, if I'm still hungry, if I feel like a little more waffle maker going, don't you love the smell of fresh waffles on a cruise ship? I mean, it's heavenly. I remember the first cruise I was on, Holland America Oosterdam machine in the buffet. There's always a lineup for that. And I found out why. Because when I got my waffle from that guy, was that ever fantastic. And they had those toppings. They had the peach toppings or the cherry or the strawberry toppings with the syrup. And it was real maple syrup in those days. I don't know if they still do that today, but I'm sure they do in Holland America. Heavenly breakfast. Oh, my goodness. No wonder I gained weight. But hey, fantastic. Let's see if there are any comments here. Teresa saying, when in Rome, we booked all our tours through Rome in a limo. They were so good. Hey, yeah, There's another thing about, or I should say Italy, when in Italy. These short excursions, even Rome, my daughter and I could have gone on our own. We could have taken the train from the port city that the ship came at. We could have taken the train into Rome, off in the main station, and come right out onto the street from there and had a map, and we would be on our way. We could have booked a private tour ourselves in advance, again through the internet. Nowadays, I mean, you really organize something. If you're traveling with more than just yourself and your wife or your daughter, child, what have you, let's say there's 2 or 3 couples that are going on a cruise. There's everything right. Everything is right. Getting off the ship and grabbing a van, one of those taxi vans, piling in on that, and you make a negotiation with the driver for, let's say you're in Mexico and you're in, say, Mazatlan. Driver, we want a 3-hour tour. Just like on Gilligan's Island, but it's on land. We want a 3-hour tour. And they'll negotiate a rate with you, flat amount of money for the whole deal. And you tell them, take us to a place where we got a nice high vantage point where we can overlook the area. Maybe take us to a seaside bar somewhere where we get some oysters, or we can just buy a beer or a little bit. And that driver is yours all day. That vehicle is yours all day, and that driver will get you back to the ship when it's all said and done. Any time, you're not going to miss the cruise. And if it's $100 for the 6 of you, piece, $20 of each with a little tip, you're laughing. I mean, you're just laughing. You got it made. But you can do the same thing, obviously, in Europe as well as the Caribbean or in Mexico. I mean, anywhere you want, you can do something exactly like that, or pre-book your own adventure before you even leave home, because there are 6 of you, and off you go, right? Here, Ian is saying the breakfast over at the main dining room is way better than getting it at the Lido deck. Yeah, well, that's another. Ian, you got it. Breakfast the way you want, and if it's on Holland America, you're going to enjoy it. I just found that because we were with another couple, we'd catch up once in a while for breakfast as well, and because I like this, you like that, whatever. But I'm a sucker for a buffet, just especially at breakfast time. I love the big variety, but yeah, the dining room would be way to go too. Very nice. Teresa saying, I agree, Spencer. The main dining room breakfast is way better, and you get it hot. There you go. Elizabeth is saying, if anyone has any questions about cruising with kids, I pretty well much have it down. I would be willing to email you with my suggestions to make it easier and smoother. If you're an expert in that, that comes in handy because, boy, that's a whole other world. It's a lot different than, mom and dad traveling. My wife and I, we're empty nesters now. And so when we go, we know what it is we want. We know what it is what we don't want. We see the families, we see the moms and dads with the kids. And we've seen the right way to do it, and we've seen the horror shows. And one point I was going to make today, there's a couple of do's and don'ts on cruises, and one of those do's and don't pointers is you got to pick the cruise line that's right for you. Not necessarily the cheapest cruise you can find at any price. Sometimes you'll come across an internet offer on a cruise, and it might say, Bahamas cruise or a Caribbean cruise, $425 a person with all kinds of perks. But what you might not know is that the cruise line that cruise is on may be completely wrong for what it is you need or what it is you'd want from your cruise. Now, people like myself, I'm older, I'm 62. Am I looking for zipline action, flow rider, surfing action? Am I looking for a Disney cruise with a whole bunch of kids running around? No, it's not for me. As great as Disney is, nope. Where am I? There's a slot for me now. Cruise lines work for me. I know exactly which ones will work. The ones I'd like to be on that I can't afford, that would work for me. But for those of you out there who aren't cruisers, who are not familiar, in your family that's thinking of going on a cruise, and you do know what it's all about, you got to help these people, steer them, in the right direction. Sometimes Carnival's the way to go. Sometimes it's Princess, Royal Caribbean for this group, maybe for a family of 4 where the kids are 10 and 13. Certain cruise lines perfect, certain cruise lines not. The same thing with the ship, right? The certain ships are perfect for certain people. Certain ships are the wrong ship. So you have to keep that in mind too. Let's see here. Just checking here. Teresa. Oh, yeah, Teresa said, "Oops, I mean even Ian." Yeah, the picking of a cruise line and picking of your ship is almost a science, because in the old days when all we had were love boats, remember the television show, The Love Boat in the 70s? I never really watched the show. I was old enough at the time to watch the show, but I didn't. My mother watched it. But a lot of you out there who are 40 and younger, you would never have seen a Love Boat show. And today you wouldn't want to watch it. It's hokey as hell. All cruise ships were like that. They were just the same thing. And it was really considered to be an adult-only centered type vacation, adult getaway. Honeymooners, of course, lovers, bosses with their secretaries, a male or female or male, of course, and husbands and wives. But nowadays, cruising covers the gamut. I mean, you tell me the age group of the traveler, and I can help you recommend the cruise line that you may want to consider going on. And cruise lines know this. So the cruise line business is becoming much more fragmented. Pick the area you want to, the cruise lines you want to be following, and avoid the cruise lines and activities that really won't work for you, right? But sometimes the almighty dollar can get in the way, and you have to be careful of that. Elizabeth is saying, do you have a public email? Now, Elizabeth, are you asking me? Someone else? If you want to contact me directly, you can do that through my YouTube channel. There's a link there on the About section of my channel. Direct message the guy, so you can do that, or you can go onto my Twitter account, Traveling with Bruce. I'm on Twitter, and you can direct message me there if you want. Just tweet me there. I would release my email to you, but I don't want to do it over the air, so I'll do it to you privately. Okay. What was I going to tell you too about the right ship and the right cruise line? There was something else I wanted to mention about that. We were talking about the Holland America, about this is a line with 5-star service, great dining, on a booze cruise and just be surrounded by let's say it's you're a college student or you're in your third year, second year, whatever, and you want to go on a 5-day cruise and live it up. That Take a Carnival cruise to Mexico. That's where you want to go. Or a lot of college kids, of course, are taking a 1 week all inclusive to Mexico, to Cancun and other areas. Carnival is where you're going to go. You may get a drink package if you can handle that much at age 20. Maybe you can. Not that I recommend it. But for someone my age, I would avoid college holiday break, spring break, college time frame cruise to Cancun. I would be avoiding that because I need to sleep. I want better quality food for me. Oh, and I'm with my wife, so I'm not on the deck trolling. And 52-year-old trolling after college kids? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Terrible, terrible. So, Holland America, celebrity cruises, that's in my wheelhouse for sure. Princess cruises, yep, that's in my wheelhouse. Where other styles wouldn't work for me. Now, 32 years old, 30 years younger, and I wish I were. And I'm 32 years old with my wife, and it's just the two of us. Then we have a number of options to go, and Royal Caribbean is definitely one of them because of the action, all the stuff we can do on board, and then the various stops. But if we've got the kids, and the kids are 3 and 5 or 4 and 7, Disney cruise is the way we go. The 4 and 7-year-old are kind of old enough. Maybe 5 and 8 would be ideal, but or older. Where this Disney cruise will be a lifelong memory, and of course we'll have the photos taken, and away we go. That would be something to do. You're asking me, yes, Elizabeth. Yeah, just direct message me through YouTube or Twitter, and you can hold me there. Gailey, talking about kids, does anyone want the chances of less kids on a Carnival cruise later this month to Eastern Caribbean? There you go. If it's during the school year and there aren't any holidays or long weekends involved, chances are the number of kids on a cruise, even on Carnival, should be low. I mean, kids should be in school when school is on. And the other thing about a cruise is if you take a short 4-day, 5-day cruise, there could be more children. If you're taking a longer cruise, if you're on like a 10, 12, 14-day cruise, kids being on that cruise, especially during the school year, are much less. So keep that in mind. But on spring break, oh my goodness, all cruise lines will have more children, of course. But the good news now with kids and cruise lines is the cruise lines know 4,000 people are on the cruise and 500, 600, 800 are children. They have kids zones. Norwegian has a really good kids zone, not only for the very young, but for the teenage kind of years, sort of, up to 15, 16. They have zones for those kids as well. Now with the water parks being built, cruise ships and all cruise ships going in for dry docking, when they get a major makeover, a lot of these ships are getting water parks added onto them, because if you don't have water slides, you're going to lose out on the part of the cruise audience that wants that feature. And so you better have it, because it's proving to be incredibly popular. More with the old, the little slide into the pool. No, and you can't get away with the slide that just goes around like twice. No, that's not going to cut it anymore. No, now you got to be 100 feet up, 5, 10 stories high, in a tube with the water running down it, and you've got this type ride, and then around and around you go. You got to provide that, because each cruise ship is trying to outdo the other cruise ship to offer the better services. And if you don't keep up, you're out. So that's the way that's going. Out of Ottawa, she's saying, I ended up on a celebrity cruise with spring breakers. Captain kept announcing, could the crazy people please keep their clothing on in appropriate areas? Letters to all guests. Yeah. Yeah, this can happen, and you're on celebrity. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter the line. if mom and dad have got the money to send the kids on a celebrity cruise, they're going to put them on a celebrity cruise, or celebrity cruise. And they are finding out that the son, the daughter, and 5 of their friends or 7 of their friends going on a bender to Mexico for a week. As a parent, it might be worth your while for peace of mind. Have them on the same ship you're on. Just have them in cabins at the other end of the ship, and they're on the same boat you're on, and you can keep tabs on these guys. Because the horror stories we're hearing every year, you hear horror stories in the media about college kids getting into trouble in Mexico or in Cuba or in they have these all-inclusives, or in Florida, of course, in like in Daytona Beach, and in Fort Lauderdale, in Miami, you absolutely know the mayhem that happens during spring break. I mean, Florida is invaded by college kids. And some of them, not all, but some of them, go a bit far, and it gets ridiculous. And of course, the local police they're busy. So yeah, if you can kind of keep tabs on them and keep them on your cruise ship, maybe you can hopefully control them. But yeah, that crash exit, that's a good point. That can happen too, even on a celebrity cruise, unfortunately. This is the thing. Also keep in mind, if the ship has water slides and zip lines, and all of those that our parents are looking for, the Liberty was not a very kid-friendly. Their kids club is great, though. Yeah, if you're looking for a private, a quiet cruise, you may not want to book a cruise that is bragging about the fact they have zip lines and flow riders and rock climbing walls and all these water rides and slides. The action-packed crowd, that's what they want. Shift a bit over to the other side to a more of a quieter or ship. It might be a smaller ship, older ship that's going to be run in a little more sedate way. Boring as hell for the young, perfect for the older. Crash is saying the kids had free drink packages and they couldn't control it. They were fun and polite, but very drunk. Yeah. And you kind of hoping for the best, right? If they're able to drink unlimited, they don't turn into psychotic monsters after the 5th, whatever, right? Just hoping that maybe they become sleepy. Please become sleepy. Yeah, you just don't know, right? And then how sick are they going to be afterwards? Oh man. Crash X saying 9 people we put ashore in the week-long cruise. Some threw overboard, not cool. They were throwing loungers overboard. Yeah. That destruction of property and everything else. You hope that the camera system on the cruise is catching them, and then they can literally, either arrest them on the ship. Did you know that they have a brig on board? They can put you in a little room and lock you up, and they're allowed to do it. International law, and criminally charge you and kick you off at the next port. And if it's in the Bahamas, or if it's in, or if it's in wherever it is, you're in jail, or you're going to be reported to the police there. That if you're caught, I mean, what a mess. The parents get a call back home. Your daughter is here at our police station in Cancun. She was kicked off a cruise ship, involved in vandalism. Oh my God! Now what? That's a nightmare. You don't want that call. Elizabeth saying, I was that kid. Elizabeth. Oh. Gail, he says, now you tell me. Now you tell me. Oh, no. Unbelievable. I love that. I got to tell you, I was looking today for some info to share with you guys, Mark. So I'm in the last portion of the show. We're not done yet, but we're getting there. I thought today I would share with you some of the dumbest questions ever asked on cruise ships. These, maybe you haven't, but I came across some of these questions, some of the dumbest questions ever asked by passengers. And I'm going to guess, these are newbies who've never been on a cruise before. And I guess, once, haven't we? We've all taken our first cruise at one time or another. And I thought I'd read some of these off, and maybe you can tell me if you've ever heard of some of these questions. That caught my eye was passengers asking a crew member, has this ship ever sunk? Yeah, yeah, it sunk 2 weeks ago, and we resurrected it, and we're back. Oh my God. Next question is here. If I got an outside cabin, and then it rained, deep thoughts here on these questions. What happens if I flush the toilet when I'm sitting on it? I never thought of that. I mean, what happens, when you're sitting at home and you flush the toilet, I know what happens. But when you're on a cruise ship, what happens if you're, might be. I don't know. Do you have a cruise to Las Vegas? That'd be great. If we could get that cruise ship maybe up the Mississippi, I'll take a left somewhere around St. Louis. And then if we can go along the river system and work our way along the Colorado River, and then we can get through to the dam there, we get as close as the big, maybe we can get out to Vegas from there. That'd be a great cruise, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be fantastic. Cruise from Vegas to Miami and Miami to Vegas. Well, that could be a hit if you really look into that. How small does your face have to be to get the mini facial special in the spa? Now that is a deep question. What elevation are we at? What do they do with the ice sculptures after they melt? I don't know. I just don't know. Passenger Crash X is saying passengers have to portage across the desert. That's right. That last 15 miles, you're walking. We have no buses. They don't allow buses on the Hoover Dam. Sorry. Crews sleep aboard the cruise ship? That's a legitimate question. I mean, where do they sleep, right? Why are the ruins in bad shape? Why is the microwave in my cabin not working? Microwave, right? We know what that is, don't we? Yeah, we know what that is. How do they have power this far from land? Deep thoughts. Last question that was asked. What time is the midnight buffet? I had to read those today. I got a kick out of that. I don't recall asking those questions myself when I was on the cruise, but every cruise you got your characters, and first timers, right? Newbies are newbies. What can I say? Crash X, laugh out loud. Yeah, I love stuff like that. So here we are. It's Friday afternoon. I want to thank you guys for hanging in there with me for the whole hour today. This has been fantastic. I really appreciate your favorite ports. Next week, I'm going to ask more questions. By the way, tomorrow I'm doing a live stream. It'll be my Saturday live stream, 2:00 Eastern time tomorrow. And this will be, hopefully I'll catch folks who generally are working during the week and want to catch one of my live streams. Hasn't ever seen the live stream or been part of it, put the word out to them. 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, Eastern time, 2:00 Eastern time. I'm going to do a live stream on this channel. Questions for you and a bunch of other thoughts and other info on cruising that's coming up. Love to get your input on these ports and these cruises, the various ships aboard, the food, the amenities, short excursions you ever had, some of the worst, you name it. This is a great forum for people to learn about what's going on. I can't find, I don't have Twitter. Elizabeth, go to my homepage, my YouTube page, where it says Traveling with Bruce. Just click on it. You'll be on my homepage. And on the top of the page, you'll have, or in the middle of the page, underneath my banner, say videos, playlists, and About button. Just click on that. And on the top right, there should be a connection there. You can connect to me. And you can connect to me. Otherwise, tell you what, leave a message, not now, but leave a message in my comment section when this video airs later today. And you can also leave me your email and I'll find you. But if you found it now, I'm happy. Again, thanks folks for watching. Thanks for thumbs ups. Please give me thumbs ups and put the word out to subscribers out there people that might become subscribers. By the 20th of Feb, the countdown is on, and I'm pretty sure we can make it. But 300 to 500 will be everything. If I can get to 700-800, I can see the finish line coming. Then I'm going to relax. But right now at 335 at last report. So I really appreciate all the help you folks are giving me. I love it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. If you're coming on tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'm really looking forward to that. And have a great night in the meantime. And thanks for watching, Bruce. This is Bruce saying goodbye from Creston, British Columbia with Bruce. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.